So I did posted a video about this one. This is called Dwarf II. It is a telescope. You can't believe it, but it's a kind of fully packaged one-stop shop for the telescope. So when I got this, I looked at this telescope and it reminded me the old camcorder that we used to have. It said it can actually use for the land use, like, take pictures of birds, or maybe you can take pictures of a game. I said, yeah, this is how the camcorder works. And then I started using this for astrophotography. And I said, yeah, this may be something very, very useful because the package is like so small. And let me tell you why I got convinced that there is some space for this in the market, right? So people come to my house, like friends, relatives, and they see my observatory in the back at my house. And I said, yeah, let's see something cool in the space, right? So I tell them to come home here when the sky is clear and you guys can see something. If there is a moon out there, planets out there, I should be able to show them, and they get excited. And then they'll start asking questions like, hey, where is, the galaxies and nebulae and all that stuff? And I show them, if available, like Andromeda Galaxy, and they're like, okay. Some people get excited, some people not. Depends on how good the view is that night. And then I show them like Orion Nebula, and they are like, yeah, oh my God, I'm seeing a cloud, like a puff of cloud, like a white cloud. What happened to the colors? Like the colors that we see in the pictures and all. So this is probably going to fill that market, right? Fill that space. If some student out there, somebody who is just starting the astrophotography, are getting excited into astronomy, right? So at a $395, this Dwarf II is on, I guess, pre-order. Might do that work. It has the telescope. When I say telescope, you can actually see anything from eyepiece. So there is no eyepiece lens and nothing we can see in the sky. So it has a built-in camera, and anything that you are doing is going to connect to your cell phone, and you can see the views from your cell phone. Some of it is live views, some of it is pictures, and that's when this is going to excel. When you're seeing something like Orion, for example, right? You see like a puff of cloud, like a white cloud right there, right? With your own eyes, that's what we can see. But if you see with the telescope, maybe a 1 second exposure, 8 seconds or 11 seconds or 15, you should be able to see colors, right? And you should be able to see a lot more details there. And if you take pictures more and more, and if you stack them, you actually see, a very good picture of the Orion Nebula. But at least you have something that you can actually see in your own telescope, pointing at your own backyard. And maybe you are sitting in a balcony looking at your cell phone, and you are actually directing the cell phone to go there. The second place that this is going to excel very well is, we can do that with DSLR. We can do that with a little bit wide field telescope anyway. But this will do the basic star tracking, right? So it's not perfect. It is like an alt-azimuth kind of tracking. It's not equatorial, so it doesn't move along with the sky rotation. But who cares, right? At least it will do 15 minutes or 1 hour of exposures, and you can still see a decent picture. You might see a sky rotation, and you can crop that picture, and you can still make sense out of this good picture coming out of it. So it does that star tracking, right? So that is actually, I see that it is a fantastic use for somebody who is starting, because the stars are not going to trail very, very quickly. Let's see quickly, like when you get this telescope, they sell a couple of bundles. They sell one with the filters. You can buy the filter slider. You can buy the filters along with it. They have extra battery that you can buy if you wanted to. And the tripod that they give is like really small. So I will go get a DSLR tripod that is like your height. That is good enough, because the one that they give is like very small, tiny tabletop tripod. That may not work for every situation. First thing, when you get this telescope, make sure it is charged. So if you see on this side of the telescope quickly, you will see if you press this button on the top, you should see that green thing coming on. And if you see the 4 lights here or 3 lights, make sure it is showing 4 lights. I was using the telescope, and then use your cell phone to connect to this one, right? And now I'm going to connect to Dwarf II. So let me type in Dwarf II. So Dwarf connects with Bluetooth, which is actually another cool thing. So, and it shows like a camera there. That's this camera. It's not connecting through Wi-Fi, which is really good because you can still access internet on your cell phone while you are taking pictures. It takes a minute to connect, but keep in mind, if it does ask you after it connects to install new firmware, go ahead and get it installed. There is a tutorial or a help link that is going to come up. Follow the links. There are 2 ways to install it. You can install through PC, you can install through your cell phone. It's pretty simple, easy to install. I don't think you're going to make mistakes there. So that's one thing that you may need to do. Now, you already have the battery charged, and then you install the app, and then you connected it, right? One thing before we go too far, if you see on this side of the telescope, you should see a like a small sleeve on the top, right? This is basically where the MicroSD card is going to go. I think in one of the packages they give you the MicroSD card. If not, just buy the MicroSD card, which is on the spec available on the Dwarf II website, and then make sure that you put that SD card here. I think that's one thing that you may need to do. I think most of the SD cards nowadays are pretty good, but I think there may be some specs that you may need to pay attention to. All right. So now, once you do that, you got connected to the cell phone, and then I believe in the back of, right here. So this is, if you're seeing here, this is the home position of your telescope. So make sure it is in the home position, and then move the telescope lenses to something that you wanted to see, right? And then you are good to go. And now you are seeing basically a wide field view right here, which is pretty much seeing on the left side, and then on the right side you are seeing like a zoomed in version of it. On the left, very left, there is a little button here like a red, and if you touch that, the joystick is going to open, and it is going to move basically the camera where you want it to go. If it's moving too fast, just make sure that you're going to press this touch that screen, bring it down, and you should be able to move relatively slow. Now it's way too slow, so let's bring it up a notch and then move up. I'm just seeing what I can see. If I can see a bird, fantastic, but if not, that's okay. I'm seeing beautiful hilltop view there, and I'm moving that, going to my left, my right, and keep going, and there you go. That's a electric pole out there, and I just wanted to make sure it is focused. There is a button here called focus, and if you press that, if you say auto, generally it focuses pretty good, decent enough. So I want you to do this at least when there is light or during the day. Don't point the telescope towards sun. Just do like with any long distance, and make sure you have some decent picture that you can see. You can take a picture if you want, like by pressing that green button there. It shows you a pretty good view. You can also switch views by pressing that one of the cameras there. Now that's what you can do. You can see the birds, you can see the game, you can see the aeroplanes. If you wanted to have a long distance view of planets, you can do it. Close-up of planets with 100 mm, I don't recommend. I think you can be able to see decent shot of a moon. You can do it. If you use solar filters, you should be able to see decent view of sun. Those are the things that I can think of. I'm back in the night time. So right now the time is like around 7:30 and the telescope is outside. I turned my telescope on. The telescope, I wanted to make sure it is in the home position first. All right. So that's in the home position. It's going to do one to the left, one to the right, and then complete. So I'm moving the lenses this side. So if you wanted me to show you quickly, I put lenses this way, right? You can see it like to the top a little bit, right? And then turning it back towards the sky, not towards the lights, right? And leaving at this home position level, right? Here you scroll to this side. Here you have time-lapse, burst, photo, video, astro. Let's go to astro. All right. So we are in this astro now, right? So auto go to, stop go to, and then calibration, right? I'm going to stay away from this camera when it is doing calibration. So I'm going to go behind the camera. I don't want to be in front of it. So I'll click on calibration, failed to access GPS location. So let's see how it goes. Okay, so we go into the photo, right? And we go into the astro, right? So we are still in this astro mode. We go to the feature and we are saying calibration, success in accessing location. My goodness. It turned on quite a bit. I hope my phone is recording it and it's doing whatever it has to do. It took a picture over there and it's doing a second calculation. I'm trying to stay away from it. Third, okay, calibration success. So finally completed calibration. And I'm still here. I'm actually seeing myself in this camera too because I'm right in front of it. So I'll try to stay away from it, and I'm not in that. So it says auto go to. Okay. And then it's saying go to Mars, go to Jupiter, go to Moon, go to Hercules, go to Trifid, go to Dumbbell, Great Orion Nebula. So Orion Nebula is right there. Okay. So anyway, so get to this deal here. So we are in this Great Orion Nebula, right? I wanted to confirm. So I'm going to stay away from it because it's going to turn that side and turn up. Go to is plate solving it. So you guys can still see me, but so, okay, God, it is showing the Orion. Did you guys see it? Yeah, that's Orion Nebula, folks. Exposure time, I'm setting it to 15. So how do you select 15? Gain, I leave it at 80 or 90, doesn't matter. It's pretty good at 80. I'm going to take my pen, maybe that'll help. And then I'll select this 15, I'll take this one. Yeah, I think my fingers are sticky, so I'm not able to actually use it correctly. So right now, I set the exposure time to 15, and I set up the gain to 80. I'm using the IR pass, And brightness, this is just for this stuff. Let me zoom in a little bit, see how stars are. And I go into focus. It's too bright, too much brightness, is it? Okay, so this is just for the visual appearance. So I'm just looking at 15 and 80. This is good enough. IR pass, which is good. And I don't want to mess with saturation or the hue for now. And I'm trying to do an auto. Let's see if it is. Go back to the photo. Go back to Astro, for that matter. Turn off this one. And go to focus, do auto. And right now it is doing auto focus as we speak. That's pretty good. Autofocus is complete. And now I go to do 15. And I'll put gain equal to 80. IR pass. And go to the feature. I'll turn this off. So here it's doing a 2x2, and I'm asking it to do, I don't know, like 100 pictures. Confirm. And display stacked, okay. And it is, I'm asking it to do astrophotography shooting. So currently it is astrophotography shooting. So it took one picture. It didn't stack anything yet. And I'm waiting for it to keep going. Took 2 pictures. So it stacked 2. So I don't need to see this. I don't need to see this stuff. So I'm going to leave the way it is. It's pretty decent. It's doing a pretty good job of taking pictures. Folks, that's Orion Nebula. If you are looking at me, the telescope is now pointing towards Orion, and my cell phone right now is showing you the Orion Nebula, and I have 100 pictures coming from the Orion Nebula from this telescope, and it auto-focused. Stars looks decent enough. All right, so finally I took several pictures, almost close to like 600 pictures. So tomorrow morning I'm going to process these pictures and see how it is going to come. For processing, if you are interested, I'll create a separate video how to use like a free software programs. Right now, not to make this video too long, I will process it and I'll post it. But if I see based on your interest, if you all wanted to process these pictures, if you want like a free software, how to process it, I will try to put that video separately. Thanks for watching. So, okay, God, it is showing the Orion. Did you guys see it? Yeah, that's Orion Nebula, folks.